was drunk, so I just was talking and talking and talking. And then
Who's
in the
asking?
morning, I did feel cringe.
Right?
But
Who's asking? My family or what?
uh, my brother's ex-wife, Carla, was telling me to text her when I buy Bitcoin. And then uh, one of Destiny's friends was asking me about investing just in general. And then some other person, but I don't even remember their name.
Oh, yeah, it's cringe to me. I hate talking about it.
I don't talk about day trading, but I'll talk about stocks.
I think all of it's cringe to me.
Nah,
Gabriel just wants to be the rich one and not let anyone in on the secrets.
No, I don't give a fuck if everyone gets rich. I want you guys to get rich with us, with me or whatever. But like, I just everyone does trading now. We're in a bubble. Like it's fucking cringe. I don't know. It's just like go to Atlanta and see how many. Go to Atlanta in the hood and see how many people are trying to like drill rap and all that shit.
They're probably trying to invest too, because InvestFest is there.
we probably should start rapping again, Gabe.
Huh?
We should start rapping again.
I never rap.
Just be a part of it. You'll be our camera guy.
I'll go back to skating at 40 if I don't make it.
Damn.
Well, I had a red week, -$2.
I didn't trade.
Bullshit.
Are we just gonna go get an absorption again?
Yeah.
You should speak about context and why I couldn't figure out when it was dropping not to take longs and when it was going up to take shorts.
Hey, Eloy, I have a question for you, man. I was trying to read your uh your review that you posted, and I was confused on how you're seeing CBD and value because it looks like you're looking at the longer term and you're not looking at it at your entry. Does that make sense?
Well, some of the photos I've been posting, I was trying to get like a few minutes before my trade so that you guys can see what I was seeing. But like, are you talking about the most recent screenshot that I posted?
Yeah, but sometimes you do it on other ones too. But I'm just wondering, like, what you're seeing. Maybe you're seeing it differently, or I just can't read it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
There you go.
you entered a short when volume was rising and CBD was rising. And the long term, yeah, it's in a downtrend, but the thing that matters is right at your entry.
Okay, then I'm down to learn about that because I know I lost all week today. I only took two trades, but I lost them.
See, if where it says selling volume, that check around that area, if you were to enter there, that would make more sense. The shift is happening, CVD is downtrending like a lot, but you entered when CVD popped up and the volume shift was to the buy side. So I was confused on that.
Yeah, I zoomed out. It looks different. It looks like clearly wrong. Like why would I enter? But I'm wondering. I miscaught
One
that, but
thing I realized you don't. Let me see if you did it on this one.
You know what I realized this week though? How differently you do things compared to me and Eric. Because you use doji candles, which is all fine. It's all okay. I'm not saying you can't use it, but you use doji candles. We don't. You use previous supply and demand zones that are invalidated, which we don't. You use LVN retest, where we're not doing. We're doing absorption, and you see CVD differently, at least in my eyes. So I'm just trying to like get on your page.
right. I think I am studying the right stuff with you guys. I think I'm like executing it wrong. Where yeah, this is a bad photo right now, the one I'm looking at because I'm too zoomed out. But you could even see if I were to zoom in where my entry was, like at the end tail of the CBD, is starting to go downward. So I think I even explained this last week. I don't know how to look for the exact perfect entry of the reversal, like the tip of that rally, and then it drops into back into the supply zone. But I guess I'm always like, all right, like I guess I'm like, oh, now the move is confirmed. Now let me find my entry. Where you guys are, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But you guys are entering earlier where it makes sense, like the perfect opportunity, like the perfect reversal. Where I'm more like waiting to make sure that the reversal is like legit. But
Here, where you entered,
yeah,
was there limit orders?
no, because yeah, I didn't even write that down. Like those that are there, the ones that popped up where I got stopped, I don't know if I was seeing those right away. Yeah, this is a bad photo. I'm realizing it was zoomed out, but I don't know why I did that.
What I would do, I don't know if you've noticed, like with my trades, is rather than focusing on this selling volume that occurred here, focus on these aggressive pops that fail. These like aggressive green pops. Obviously, for supply, it would be uh, buying into supply, and for demand, it would be aggressive selling into demand. But these that continue to fail, well, obviously, it ended up rallying from here. But like on this situation over here, where it aggressively hits supply, and then the buying dries up, and then this selling volume gets aggressive to the downside, this is the entry. What you circled here is the entry. So this right here, this green, is the sign that it could be getting absorbed. It's not fully there yet. It's just a sign that, okay, buyers stepped in aggressively and it dried up. And then you want to wait for that shift. And look at how CBD aggressively falls here while this selling volume is aggressively coming in at the same time. These two combined is the signal to enter as long as you're at a key level. Whereas you over here, you got in as the buying volume was coming, and yeah, there may have been a like little downtrend that I mean a little fall that was occurring, but compare this to this over here to the left. Even look at this instant drop here on this first volume bar. Like that right there is a perfect signal of like, okay, sellers are strong here. Whereas over here, it's trend I can't see the overall trend, but it made a low here and then it started trending upward. And then you were getting in as it was going up.
Right. So that little curve up that it's doing, I know how I misread it, but like last week, you know how we learned if we're gonna short the market, but you see that quick buy up into the supply, that's kind of like a sign of like, oh, these are buyers trying, but the sellers are about to step in and like, take them out. So like that's why you see I kind of entered where that last green spike is because I'm like in my mind the reversal already happened at the very top where I missed it the beginning, and so now I'm like oh so the direction's going down. I'm looking for a retest of like trying to break that high a day and then watch a reverse. So that's why I see the spike. I'm like we're still back in the supply zone even though we got above it and back under it. So in my mind I'm like oh they tried to break out and it didn't work. Now we're back in my supply. I'm trying to see it doesn't get back above that second spike at like
So
seven.
what do you so what so what do you name this setup? Because it sounds like you're doing some absorption. It sounds like you're doing a level retest.
Yeah, I think even though the LVN isn't super clear here because there's no volume at the top of this SVP line to like act as resistance, I was just kind of saying like, well, there's not a lot of volume transacted right there, which isn't a good sign because there should be that little wall of like where it might resist, but it doesn't have that at the top. So I was just more thinking, well, this is low volume right here. Maybe it'll get in here because I'm already in the mindset that this is going to go down. And so I thought that spike up was going to be that little fake out of like buyers, but then it was going to come back and down.
That's the problem. What you just said is the problem. You thought it was going to be something. You didn't see the signal that it was something.
So
I
then
make that mistake so many times.
what am I missing? I mean, the spike up
You,
is
you
just, it's
thought
more like I'm going
you
off
thought
biased
the spike was
lessons.
gonna you thought the spike was gonna hit resistance and fall, but there wasn't this kind of sign that's over here that the current market is telling you sellers are here. Here, there is no selling. I see no signs of selling at all besides what's to the left of me. So if I'm looking at the current market, what's happening where you entered, I see you're going based off what you think is going to happen rather than what the market's telling you is currently happening. Rather than if you would have entered over here and you had that same mindset, the market is actually showing you that it's hitting limit orders. CBD is stalling here. So if you would have entered like maybe around here, even then, like the selling volume was kind of late, which is why I also hesitated on this move completely. But if you would have entered like around here, then the signs are there because CBD is falling already. You're not waiting to see it's maybe gonna fall. It is falling, and selling volume is stepping in. Whereas here, you got in on the spike with the thought of, oh, it could fall.
Mhm. Yeah, it
So
feels like I was forcing it.
that's the big difference. Like if you look at the way I screenshot my this one. Even no, that one's not the best, but this one. So this one is kind of similar to what you had, where it broke out of the supply zone, but this time it broke out of the demand zone. But look at how aggressive this selling came in into these limit orders, and I didn't enter uh right where I seen the selling coming in. I let the buying slightly build up
Mm.
right here. So it was one aggressive spike, two aggressive spike, three aggressive spike. And then I noticed that CVD for the first time out of the whole time I was trying to enter was on like this slightly slanted upward trend. Whereas the other times I was entering, it was flat like this. And this made me like hesitant about it, but I was just like, this aggressive buying is stronger than all the previous buyings I was seeing. So I gave it a shot. But look at how I enter on the buying value. I don't enter on like, oh, maybe it's hitting my levels aggressively. I think it's gonna get bought up now. I let the actual signs of the buying be present because now probabilities are in my favor because the market is currently telling me buyers are here. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I think I just saw like I missed the first move, and in my mind's like, all right, well, let me see if the retest like happens, but I don't know. I'm just timing it bad
And
because I.
that's where your emotions are coming into place because you want to take a winning trade. You want the market looks like it's going to keep falling, so you want to be part of that move, and that's where your emotional battle comes into place. Because I've definitely been there where it's like the move takes off and it's like, damn, I missed it, and I just have to accept that I'm not part of it unless those signs were there. Like if those signs of the selling were here, preferably have limit orders already. Like if it was up here where you got stopped and then I seen aggressive selling, see how here there's not aggressive selling, it wouldn't be my sign to enter. I would want say this aggressive buying did hit the limit orders and then it stalled a bit and then I start to see CBD trending downward. And but at the same time, I see this kind of aggressive volume coming in. I don't want this kind of volume coming in because look at this volume versus this volume, buyers are still stronger. Whereas with this volume, like this is aggressive sellers stepping in. So you want if you're like zoomed in on the 2 minute, you want to see this spike get pretty close to what this spike is, if not even higher.
If you want to take a retest to be safe, next time wait for price to drop into the supply zone and break it, come back up, and
Mm,
then take it when it hits the edge of it, when it hits the line.
that
You
makes
could
like
take
perfect
that
sense
trade.
to me, and I get our conversation that we're having. It's like I guess I'm just entering like Eric said, like after the move. Like I'm trying to see, like I'm just trying to get that move to happen again, but also thinking
That's why I
this.
want to.
Go
That's
ahead.
why I want to see how you see CBD and Valium, because what you're saying makes sense. It makes sense. You're just mistiming it.
I'm just
Like
assuming there's going to be
I can
another
see your
chance.
logic.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I'll go for it. No, that's all I'm saying.
I was just saying, like, because even if you look at the same screenshot, because you saw that there was those two green spikes of volume. The first one in the middle of the circles kind of looks like the spike buying into the limit orders,
Right.
and then it drops again. Not convincing enough to where that would have been a good trade, but I'm just kind of like,
It
oh, this.
drops.
Go ahead.
It drops, but it still broke through the limit order. That means buyers
Mm,
want it. Notice how buyers broke above the supply zone. That means buyers are still there. Buyers still want it higher. Notice how this large selling didn't break at all through the past the supply zone. That means there's a buyer there absorbing it. And notice how after that the new low is higher and the new high is higher. That means buyers are still there. Those are all signals that buying is still present. Plus this
Damn, I didn't
buying
even know that.
volume, plus this buying volume, all these spikes are pretty large compared to the red ones. And CBD is in the green above the zero line. And CBD is 10,000 plus. That's all signs buying was there on top of the aggressive buying that was happening right as the market opened. Buyers were here the whole time.
yeah,
You got to
that's
look
my
for this.
the main thing I
You
didn't
got to look.
understand the last 2 days were because yesterday it rallied up really strong, and then the day before it dropped really strong, and I don't know if it's those type of conditions that I don't know how to understand with the lessons I know so far, and maybe I was just like,
Honestly, those moves are what make it, at least they used to make me more emotional, but those moves are where you make emotional decisions or yeah, emotional decisions because it hits your zone and it aggressively hits your supply zone. So like that when the market moves aggressively like that, it kind of makes you like not uh in a zoned in space because you're I feel like when the market moves aggressive, like with the let me just pull this here. When you see this kind of spike, it can raise your heart rate where it's like you almost get excited and you want to be part of a move. And same thing here. It'll like force you to make decisions that you normally wouldn't make. So like you have to be cautious of like when it aggressively pushes up like that, like be aware of how you're feeling. Cause I've realized in the past when that would happen, like I would end up forcing trades. I feel like that's why I would end up taking like 13 trades, besides not knowing what I was doing. But
That's
uh
really good.
I think those spikes do bring some emotions to you. So journal like when it happens, be aware of what you're feeling at the time.
Also, when stuff rallies like that, be aware that it needs a pullback. So taking a short could have been risky.
Yeah, you're definitely going against the trend trying to short it.
Yeah, that's why I
actually,
didn't take it either because I wanted a short too, but I didn't fucking take it. Thank God.
I definitely
Even
wrote.
Carmine said he was disappointed with the trade he took.
Oh, he took. Oh yeah, he took a short.
Yeah. But already the fact that it breaks above supply, like that to me is like, okay, be cautious because buyers are stronger than they usually are when they hit a supply zone or a demand
Yeah.
zone.
And then right after, selling appears and it gets absorbed, and then it makes a higher low and higher high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think one, it's be cautious of your emotional state when the market moves like that. And then two, just know that what's happening in the present moment. Like, don't go based off of, oh, limit orders are here or like it recently sold off. Like, be aware of what the current volume candle and CBD is doing when you're about to enter, not
Yeah,
what's happening over here.
the thing that matters the most is everything happening right at your entry. Nothing before at all.
Yeah,
Right at your entry.
I was experimenting with that zoom out for some reason this week, I guess. Because I was just kind of like, let me just see what I'm not seeing when I'm so zoomed in. But I even remember the quote of like Eric saying, "When in doubt, zoom out," and I was just kind of like repeating, "Oh, let me just see what's going on," and then maybe I'd stay a little too zoomed out and then focus creating my plan based off that.
Wait, creating a plan? You're supposed to have your plan before.
Or like just creating more confidence in my what I'm gonna do. Like I don't know, maybe the zooming out isn't really. I'm not using it the right way, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like I'm developing the wrong set of context because like I understand what you guys are saying. I'm supposed to develop this context zoomed in, and so maybe I was just losing confidence in my zoomed in understanding. So I was like trying to zoom out and see what else I'm missing.
When you're zoomed out, you want to see that buyers are struggling. In this case, you want to see that buyers are struggling with these aggressive spikes, but then you have to zoom in to see like if what you're planning on doing, which is shorting,
Bring up this
is
book map and then go back to this exact place and show them.
what date is this?
Yesterday, so the 22nd. Oh my god.
I had it set up for the 19th already. Y'all fucked me up.
Oh, you had a whole plan?
I'm gonna go backwards now though.
Well, we don't have to go there every day.
Monday was chop.
Yeah. Like if it's on absorption.
Dude, the thing I was gonna say this earlier. What I've been doing is like, I'll if there wasn't any setups, then I'll put like this is this is the whole week. So on Monday it was chop, and then on Tuesday we had absorption, but it was at a pre-market low and yesterday's low, so I didn't take it. But I labeled it B plus because of that, just because it wasn't at my key level, but the setup was there. And then Wednesday there was a B setup, and then Thursday there was a B minus setup, and then yesterday there was no setups for the way I trade. Um, but looking at the week like this has been super helpful because even like if you look at my previous week, say like 3, 4, 5, yeah, I can realize like just going looking at the week, only looking for my A plus setup, it helps me like realize how many times the A plus setup appears. Whereas last week, the absorption appeared multiple times, but it was never like super A plus like I've been seeing the previous week, which I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, you start doing that.
Yeah. Y'all keep going for a second. I'm just gonna pee real quick.
Yeah. Is it raining over there right now?
I don't have a window. I don't know.
It's fucking raining over here.
That's weird. It's supposed to be like super hot today.
I know.
No, it's not raining.
What the hell?
Earthquakes coming.
Whose baptism are you going to?
Sienna's baby.
Oh, yeah. Did Destiny get hers baptized?
Yeah, but I didn't go because I had to work.
Yeah, that's crazy. You work on Sundays again now? I forgot.
Nah, dude, they've been giving me weekends off. They gave me a weekend for September also.
Oh, what the hell?
So we'll see. But I don't know. The housing market's crazy. It's been so slow at work. I'm just like, damn, am I gonna have a job for a long time?
Are they still laying people off?
I mean, from the last 7 they did, they're not. But it just feels weird when I'm there. Like I'm just like this doesn't feel like it was feeling before.
Oh shit. Are you still working at home the whole time, or are you still going in?
Mondays and Fridays. They're trying to ask them to like let us work from home all week, but my boss doesn't like that idea.
Why don't they like it?
I feel like he thinks we end up slacking off over time, which I kind of see can happen. Can you see my book map?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never got my buy-in price for my long term
The Bitcoin.
or Nvidia. I
Oh
wanted the
yeah.
market back a little deeper.
That's what I thought I was gonna do.
Fucking pal.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday I looked up what Fed rate cuts even means, and apparently it's the at the end of the day, banks have excess money, and some banks don't have excess money, like they owe money to the so they swap between each other. Like, say Chase has a certain amount of money and Bank of America doesn't have enough money to close out their day. They Chase will lend money to Bank of America, and that transaction there, the Fed makes money off of that interest. So by cutting those rates, it makes the mortgage loans and all those things that people use to get debt cheaper. So then if he raises Fed rates, then it makes it more expensive. So that's why when he says he's gonna lower rates, the market like gets all hyped up because it makes getting loans a lot better easier for us basically.
I still don't understand.
I know I was like, why do they even control that? Like, why does the government make money off of them lending each other money?
I think they're all in cahoots with each other.
That shit's weird. Um, are you here, Eloy?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, this is the 22nd. Your short was at 64.62 or 61. Uh,
It's
so
okay.
my supply zone's what?
No, you're good. Keep going.
So that was around 7 a.m.
Sorry, never mind then. Thank you. I don't know where it's at.
It was like 7:10 where the move started happening.
Go over there, give me.
Oh my gosh, it disappeared. I'm gonna just leave it blue.
Go, give me. Go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Go.
So here, if we're at supply, obviously we'd be looking like, okay, when is the short gonna occur? So here we see a bunch of limit orders. Uh, no real. Over here we got a buy volume spike. So right here in here, I'm looking for either aggressive selling with CVD to start trending downward, or to see aggressive selling coming in at this also. Um, Let me slow it down. So all I'm seeing at the moment, even though it's falling out of supply, CVD is just stalling. No selling volumes coming in. I'm on the 2 minute right now. But preferably because the buying volume stepped in aggressively down here, I still want to see an aggressive volume spike occur. Like, not necessarily this yet. I mean, it is aggressive, but I want this volume spike to look a little stronger. But buyers are stepping in here. Into these limit orders. Okay, so this kind of buying is what I'd like to see. Struggle though, but look, see how CVD is rising as this spike came in? I want it to be stalling. I mean, it kind of is stalling, but it is rising at the same time. So like signals aren't fully there for me here. But here's another spike. Look at the volume spike here. That's a sign of aggressive buying coming in again.
And it broke the consolidation to the upside.
Yep. Now it broke out of the supply. So this now is making me cautious. Like if selling were to come in, I would be a bit hesitant of like, okay, it could still get bought up. I'm aware of these limit orders down here that could possibly hold price. Still aggressive buying. One thing that I do find interesting is that CVD isn't aggressively curling up, but it is kind of trending upward. And this was the short. I kind of did it too fast. I think this is the short Carmine tick here.
Was CBD that flat the whole time yesterday?
Yeah, up here, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
I think that's why I was zooming out too, because I'm like, I can't really tell this zoomed in if it's truly
Right.
going up.
You, yeah, it's going up, but it's like consolidating a little, like inching up.
Yeah.
Okay, were you saying a second ago like a better confirmation for a direction going downwards where this thing goes back down into the box and then it never got back under the box and I was taking trades where like you're saying a better confirmation that it is going to go back down is if it broke the box?
Yeah, especially right here, once it breaks above the box, I'm thinking, okay, there's buyers there. So if I want to take a short, then I would now need sellers to appear and break the box completely and then come back up, retest it, and enter right there on the retest.
I see it. I get that. Okay.
Because right here is clear rally base rally. That's a buy signal. And it broke above the supply zone, that's another buy signal. And CBD is trending up, that's another buy signal. Buyers were here. So sellers would have to be super strong and aggressively break through the box for me to be comfortable with looking for shorts at that point. That makes sense.
Yeah.
See, so here it's hitting limit orders. Buyers aren't as aggressive as they were right here, but here buyers are aggressive, here buyers are aggressive, and then limit order right here is holding price. And watch the volume as this selling comes in. Okay, this is it, the aggressive pop. Another aggressive pop. I thought it was gonna be high. Look at this selling volume and watch CBD as a downtrend. So see how this little move could have made you want to get in? Like, okay, it's hitting limit orders, it's struggling, it's selling here. And if you're too zoomed in, it'll look like some aggressive selling's coming in. But if you're on the 2 minute, you could like avoid that getting tricked. Oh, I hate that. Come on. You can avoid getting tricked because the selling volume isn't strong yet. Whereas compared to when we see this selling volume come in, you're gonna see the difference in both the volume and the CBD.
Also, Eric, draw a line on top and bottom of that consolidation so I can show something. Oh, not right there on the first one, first consolidation.
In the box.
Yeah, inside the box. And then in the lows. So you also, if you're looking for a short, you would want to wait for price to drop below the lows of that consolidation. Because if you're taking a short on top of the first line without price having a broke, that means you're taking a short on an uptrend. If you take it inside the box, you're taking it in no man's land. So you have to wait for at least it to break the lows, which is the bottom line of consolidation, to confirm that it's now a downtrend, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Damn, I missed that.
Look at the volume here. CBD still isn't on a downtrend, but as the volume gets more aggressive, it has a quick drop. That's interesting that it's not falling and we're still above what Gabriel was talking about.
How do you know if this consolidation period is that important? I ask because like sometimes Carmine, the move happened like a long time ago, and then his pullback plan is like really far down, and he's like, if it comes back to this, he's like, that's what I'll try. But I'm like, isn't there random consolidation periods throughout like a very big, let's say like a 50-point move, where how do you know which risk wise it probably makes sense to just wait for the most lowest one, right? But I guess how does he know this random section right here is like, all right, this is the one where the main move happened, so I'm gonna wait for it to come back here, even though there's other little consolidation periods that are forming.
He's looking at the delta the whole time, so he's looking for outliers, he's looking for zero prints, and sometimes those do happen in no man's land where he takes it and it does work out. But
look at this selling volume here. And damn, CBD still isn't dropping. What the fuck?
But as for right now, like for me at least, I'm just gonna try to do trades at my key level because 2 weeks ago I was losing so much money just taking those random trades that he was trying to take, and it was not working out for me. So I mean, they do work. We see it work for him, but he's just better at reading order flow. He's just seeing stuff we just can't see yet.
He also has this histogram that he uses on his Sierra charts that shows him LVNs that we can't see because it's showing him LVNs from previous days. So a lot of times he'll use those levels, and I'll be like, "Where the fuck did that level come from?" And then like later in the day, he'll show that there was a LVN in a histogram that we have no access to.
Yeah.
So it's even more conviction to just focus on our key levels, because even if we saw LVNs in no man's land, like I don't know, there's more we're not seeing. So it's like we don't even have the skills for the no man's land yet.
Exactly. The probabilities aren't in our favor, at least for right now, because we're just beginners.
I
But
don't like
notice
how
how
he's not trending down.
I know CVD looks ugly, but notice how the aggressive selling couldn't break the lows of consolidation. Buyers are still there trying to absorb it. So you need to see it, a volume shift to the downside to break the lows of consolidation so you can confirm, okay, a downtrend is currently happening. Now I need to wait for price to break under the box, under the supply zone to confirm that sellers want it below the supply zone and then take it up on the retest.
Yeah, that part makes sense, and it's
Is
something
this where it got bought?
it goes down to the bottom of the red box, but it doesn't break it.
Yeah, it doesn't break it. That should have been a red flag for shorts.
And like that's just like another thing where I'm assuming today that lesson is going to stick in harder than it has in the past. Because pause first of all, but but
Hey, even look at this. Look at the candle chart here. It pulled back here, made a low. Then on this next pullback, made a higher low. Then I think this might have been where you entered, but it just keeps making higher lows every time it pulls back. Even just looking at the candlestick
yeah,
chart.
fuck.
Okay, so it broke the lows of consolidation. The volume shift is happening. CVD is downtrending currently. So you don't let your emotions affect your mental state and take a trade right now. You wait for the confirmation to be secure underneath the supply zone. Because right now you're still technically in no man's land.
Because this zone has become invalidated. It's like it's become no man's land. But I keep it on. Yeah,
Well,
keeping it on there is probably confusing me.
well, if you zoom out, I think you're probably in consolidation, right? Inside consolidation. Yeah, you're inside consolidation. So you need to break those lows, which is the low of the supply zone. That's why you're in no man's land in the longer time frame. So you need to break those lows, which is the confirmation low, your key zone.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck.
You just got to be aware of what price is doing currently to make either your bias validated or to create a plan to the opposite side because there's no short signals at this current moment in time.
See, and you got in at 64.75, and look at this. It was a 500 lot limit order, 556 lot limit order here, and buyers aggressively broke through that. That's a red flag to shorts because buyers are buying this aggressively and continue to push up.
Yeah, they're definitely there. It's crazy to see it in hindsight though, because it's so much clearer.
Yeah. And look at this selling that occurred. Look at the volume compared to how aggressive the buyers were. So like these little moves, and you gotta be aware of how the volume and CVD look when they happen because they could make you emotional and enter a position, but volume is really telling us that they're not strong. Even the thinness of the volume there. And then this is where you entered around right here. Around right here. And see how I'll even shit, I went too far. So this is the selling volume you had highlighted prior, but it's weak. There's selling did occur, but it's weak. And now, if you were waiting for the market to fall off again, you would want to see the selling get strong, whereas it actually gets the buying gets strong here. Look at that. There's no sign of selling here. Just look at the volume. Yeah, it's stalling, but you want to see present moment selling coming in. So it's like, I don't care that there's limit orders up here. I need to see that selling stepping in. Choose them in. That selling is looking stronger than it should.
Notice how it didn't break the highs of consolidation. See how it's struggling there?
Also, notice how like with uh trying to focus on finding absorption, like there's things you can like clearly focus on when market's at your key level or your supply zone in this case. Whereas with your situation, if you're trying to take LVNs or like other setups, there's other things you have to consider. So like by trying to uh, drift away to other setups, it's gonna cause confusion. That's why I say like just focus on absorption only so you can master it, and then you could start trying other things. But
And we could all learn together. Like,
yeah,
yeah, because by only focusing on this absorption setup, when you can make yourself not get as emotional because you know exactly the things that you're looking for, and if they're not there, you just accept it and keep it pushing.
yeah. Hey, do you understand the consolidation shit, like the no man's land and all that bullshit?
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I just want to clarify that the white consolidation lines are the intraday consolidation, but when I said it, you were still in the no man's land. Technically, was I was talking about the longer term consolidation, which was a supply zone. Does that make sense?
No man's land. It became no man's land because the previous.
So you were always in no man's land. Inside the supply zone, the longer term is a consolidation. That's all no man's land. So these white lines are technically these white lines are the intraday consolidation, which is the zoomed in consolidation.
Uh-huh.
But that zoomed in portion is still inside the bigger consolidation, which means all of it is no man's land. Does that make sense?
But don't we take our trades in the zones?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you want a confirmation, these
Oh,
are just for your confirmations.
okay, that
If you
makes
want a
sense.
confirmation to the downside, wait until it breaks under the intraday lows of consolidation to confirm a downtrend. And if you're not going to take it there or whatever, wait until it breaks the bigger consolidation or that retest, which is the supply zone.
I get you now.
I don't know. My ways of instructing aren't good, but whatever.
No, but I get what you're saying. Like, there's two different no man's lands, but I get what you're talking about right now
Yeah.
inside the zone. Like why it becomes like a no man's land until it breaks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to
And
the 19th.
video.